Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another Women of Horror Spotlight. Today, I have with us, she's a director, and she has a new movie out that I've had the pleasure of seeing. You can find it right now on streaming on Tubi, and it's called Season 666. I have with us today Michelle Hansen. Michelle, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on. It's nice to finally meet you in person, Travis. We have a mutual friend in common, and she said great things about you.
Yeah, so you're talking about Beth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beth is in season 666. She's in the opening, and she also did the makeup for 666.
Awesome. Beth is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, I've had the pleasure of actually, I just finished watching it. Season 666. And it is so much fun. By the way, look out for a future Tubi Tuesday review of season 666, everyone. But tell my audience who hasn't had a chance to see it, tell them a little bit about season 666.
So it's a horror comedy where the dialogue is completely improvised by the cast. Wow. I kind of took the notion of if Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees was captured by the government and then sold to a company who then turned his capture into a reality TV show of anyone could go in to compete to try to kill him, and if they succeed, they win $1 million. If not, they can yell forfeit and they'll be extracted from the game. And then it's in the game show is in its 6th season. So that's season 666. And so far, no one has won the game.
And it's such an interesting concept. And I'm telling you, I was locked in the whole entire time. What gave you the inspiration or the idea for this film?
My friends and I, Andy Batt and Shane Stefanchik, they're mentioned in the titles. We were just kicking ideas around. I knew that I wanted to do an improv horror movie, and we were just kicking ideas around and just sitting around eating breakfast, and one idea spiraled into another, and I settled on that and thought that it was a really cool concept and just ran with it.
Now, this movie is 50 minutes long and change, which I actually enjoy because it seems like horror movies are getting longer and longer, and it seems like I'm 41 now, but it seems like my attention span is like it's like a teenager. Like my attention span is getting shorter. So one thing I love about this movie is it didn't overstay its welcome. Now, was your intention to make it under an hour?
Yes, all the horror movies I've done, they're all short films, so anywhere from like 45 minutes under. This one, it was shot in 2 days. I rented an Airbnb, and so we used the Airbnb for interior shots, and the backyard is where the arena is. So we had 2 days to shoot it in, and just made the best of the time that we had. So we went in knowing that it was going to be a short horror film. The actual duration was kind of left to how it panned out. And so it landed at 51 minutes, but I think I had probably 2 hours worth of a movie if I really let the scene drag on. But like you said, most of us are in our 40s now, and we just don't have the time or the attention span for a 2-hour movie. And I know a lot of people appreciate that Netflix has that 90 minutes or less category. And
yes.
So a short 50-minute film was the intention.
Now, so is 50 minutes considered a short film? Because I know different filmmakers say, there's different time frames for a short film. Is that considered a short film?
So at first I thought it was. I thought anything under 60 minutes was considered a short film. But I've learned along the way of editing this movie and trying to get it on Tubi that anything 45 minutes or more is considered a feature length. and that still surprises me. But it's over the 45-minute mark, so I guess it's feature length.
Now, when it came to the cast, you were saying there was no script and they improvised everything.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this movie and I definitely didn't see that. I thought it was definitely scripted. So, I mean, were you shocked on how the actors were able to adapt?
Well, yes and no. I purposely sought out improv actors. And the only person in the movie who doesn't have improv experience was Deandra, who plays the lead girl. She knows her horror and she knows it very well. So I was confident that she'd be able to take her character and the dialogue to where it needed to be. For the other actors who have the improv experience, the majority of them are also horror fans, so I knew that I was in good hands with whatever creativity came to them.
Now, how long did it take filming wise for this film?
Filming wise, it was over 2 days. I had the Airbnb from Friday afternoon until Sunday morning. And on Friday, we shot from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. And then Saturday, we shot from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So altogether, I think that's about 18 hours.
Long days. Some long days.
yeah. I'm very grateful to the cast. They really gave it their all.
Now, you've been making short films and films for a long time. What got you into... I'm pretty sure you've always been a horror fan. I'm looking at your wall. I'm pretty sure you've always been a horror fan. Mm-hmm. But, like, what made you decide, you're like, fuck it, I'm going to make a horror film myself?
Sure. Well, yeah, I've always been a horror fan. I saw Jaws in the early 80s when I was 4 years old and didn't want to take a bath because I thought Jaws would get me in the bathtub. So I say that horror is in my blood. I've always been drawn to theater and movies. I've been doing theater for over 30 years in some capacity. So writing horror films just kind of came naturally. And because I live in Ohio and I don't really have access to anyone in the business, it kind of came down to, if I want people to watch my movies or just hear my words, I had to take matters into my own hands, and I just have to start filming it. I have to learn how to write that. I have to learn how to direct and then edit and do everything else that comes with a movie. So I'm very fortunate that my friends are also actors, and for the most part, they are willing to jump into any movie. If we have a weekend open, we say, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's film something," and they're all for it. So I'm very, very lucky to have friends like that.
It's good to have that network, and I hear that when it comes to indie horror, it's so important to have that core group.
Yeah.
Now, Michelle, listen, you do great work, amazing work, but at the same time, right now, when it comes to indie horror, I mean, it's pretty flooded with movies, projects, competition. I mean, besides coming on to the #1 indie horror YouTube show, what are some things that you do to stand out?
Well, I don't want to call it my film company because I just produce my own stuff. It's through Fearopoly, and our mission is to basically tell stories that subvert tropes and give the underdog a chance to see another day. So I try to do the unexpected, as well as give people an opportunity who are interested in working in movies. Just, hey, come on to the set. I will find a job for you and we'll get you that experience. Because if you love something the way that I love movies and making movies, I want to help that person experience that kind of joy.
I love that. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So everybody, but by the way, listen, once again, I'm going to be doing a TV Tuesday review of season 666, but it's gonna be a positive review.
Thank you.
Now, so have you gotten positive reviews so far from everyone who has seen it?
No, not from everyone, and that's totally fine. It's a very low budget movie. I know exactly what it is. I know it's far from perfect. I am just so grateful that people watch it, and the people who do enjoy it for whatever reason. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And for those who don't enjoy it, that's okay too. Not everyone's going to love what you do, and that's all right. When it's a fair criticism, it makes me a better writer or a better director, better producer, whatever that negative review is about. So I'll take it.
Love it. By the way, I'm going to tell you one of my rules that most people do not know about Travis in the Horror Realm. I never do a review before the interview.
Okay.
I never do a review before the interview. So because I don't know, it's just awkward. Somebody I just did a review for their film, and now I got to interview them afterwards. Mm-hmm. It just makes it a little awkward because I mean, like you said, there's aspects when I do my reviews. I got the positives and the negatives. No one ever has just negatives. There's positive things that I like about every movie. There's certain things I don't like. So, but yeah, filmmakers. Some filmmakers are soft skinned. So, like they have a problem like coming on after I said certain things about the movies. But I never bash a movie. I just point out the things I like and the things I dislike about the movie.
Right.
So.
And that's fair to do. I realized over time, the more movies I make, the less harsh I am when I watch another independent horror movie, because I realize how much work that person put into it. And even though it's not the greatest, I mean, it's indie horror, it's not going to be the greatest. But just a lot of work went into it, and you don't know what they had to sacrifice to get to that point. So yeah, like I'm all for it.
But I hate casual horror fans. So casual horror fans, I say, make up the majority of horror fans. Unfortunately, they do.
Sure.
But I hate that they I'll say, oh my goodness, I enjoy season 666, and they're like, oh my goodness, what are you talking about? It's shot so cheaply and this and that. But here's my thing: I'm not comparing apples to oranges. I'm comparing apples to apples. I don't rank big budget movies the same way I rank indie horror movies, because I know I've been on set one time and I've been in one, and I know that it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? Like, you're working with a small budget, you're working with restraints. You got, like you said, 2 days to film. I can be a little harsher towards big budgeted movies who have $20 million to work with and months to film. So, I mean, it's not going to be the same review, So, yes.
Right. Season 666 had a $7,000 budget. I didn't go into it with a budget in mind. It was one of those, I worked overtime at my job. I worked gig jobs like DoorDash and Uber and Rover. Did some like dog walking just to be able to afford to pay the actors, have craft services, pay editors, color graders, everything that goes into a movie. Everyone was paid as much as I could pay them. I, again, very lucky that I was working with all my friends. So they were not paid what they were worth, but they were definitely paid. And it all came out of my own pocket. I didn't do any type of crowdfunding.
And I respect that. I respect that.
Oh, thank you.
Now, and I have a 2-part question for you.
Okay.
So when you finish season 666, you're finished filming, post-production, all of that. 2-part question. What was one thing that you were like, wow, that went so well, I'm gonna take that over to my next project? And what is one thing that you're like, holy shit, I'm never going to do that again?
Well, it's funny that you ask that, because season 666, I intended for it to be a very scary horror movie. I was not looking for comedy at all. I say that I made the mistake of asking comedy improvers to be in it, because it naturally went into a comedy direction. And after we filmed this in the summer of 2021, and it took 2 years for me to get over myself and my initial vision of it, and to then watch it with clear eyes and see the comedy in it and really embrace that. And I am so grateful that I asked comedy improvers now, because this movie needed to be a horror comedy. I learned from season 666 that I will take into future movies that I make. Basically, just trust the process. I don't really care for that expression, but sometimes a story is bigger than you are. It's bigger than your vision, and if it's going in one direction, and no matter how hard you fight it, if that's the direction that it's going in, just embrace it.
Now, who was the first person close to you that got to watch the movie first?
Well, I had a cast viewing party, and so all the cast members got together at it's called Boxland Media. It's here in Columbus, Ohio. It's a media studio, and we watched it on a big screen, and we had little bags of popcorn, and so the cast got to see it first as a whole, and I sat back, because I have watched this now about 1,000 times just through editing it. And so I sat back, just watched the cast's reaction to certain things. So that was enjoying for me to watch. And then the cast got to see it, and they were very receptive of it. And, they appreciated being in the movie as well.
That's so much fun. Oh, by the way, Columbus, Ohio, OH.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I spent a lot of time throughout with my previous job. I spent a lot of time in Columbus, Ohio, so I know Columbus. I've seen the Blue Jackets play. I've been to many Ohio State, and so that's like my second home, Columbus, Ohio. I love Columbus.
Okay. Well, the next time you're in town, look us up, and we'll have you over. We'll watch a movie.
Sounds good. All right, now Michelle, as you know, this is a horror channel. So I'm going to ask you 3 random horror questions, and it's just a personal opinion, okay?
Okay.
All right. What horror movie franchise are you tired of at this point? You hope they
Am I
take
tired
a break?
of?
Yeah, you hope they take a break of making movies for a while.
Well, at first I want to say Scream, but I take that back because Neve Campbell is back. so keep Scream. I would say, gosh, I don't know. I enjoy horror franchises for different reasons, but you know what? No, I take that back. Leprechaun. They just need to stop. Leprechaun. I take it back.
I like the Leprechaun movies. I really do, but they're not good movies at all. They're not even
No.
They're some of them are really bad, but I like the goofy ones, like the ones he's in space and the hood. I do enjoy the off the top goofy ones.
That's when I got to Leprechaun in space, I was like, okay, I'm done, and I had to take a very long break before I could finish the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, they get really bad real quick. Especially the last couple ones get bad real quick.
Right.
What's a horror movie that you feel is underrated, that most people don't praise it as much as it should be?
Well, at first I would say I would have said Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but I think the more people who watch it, even the younger generations, and they embrace everything that Wes Craven put into the Nightmare franchise, I think now it does get the credit that it deserves, but I'll stick with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I think it was groundbreaking. it opened the door for movies like Scream.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was just it was very well made, a very very smart movie.
Great movie. It's definitely in my top three. It's actually number three. My number three favorite.
Okay.
Nightmare on Elm Street film. Behind the first one and Dream Warriors Part 3. So
Okay. My favorites are 3, 1, or 3, 7, and 1.
7. That was what? Jason?
Well, that's Wes Craven.
Freddy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Dream
3, 7.
Warriors is 3. Wes Craven's New Nightmare is, people call it Nightmare 7, and then the original Nightmare.
Mine is 3, 1, 7. So close. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What is one horror movie that everybody says they love and you feel like is overrated?
I did not like Barbarian, and
What? I love that movie.
right,
Okay.
right. Did not like Barbarian, and in a Violent Nature.
So I haven't seen that one yet.
That one that
I
just
heard it was
came
bad.
out with. I mean, if you like artsy films, and like, I totally get what they were going for. I just do not like slow burns at all. And I went into it thinking that it was going to be like a Friday the 13th movie. And it's kind of set up that way. But the dude just walks around for 90 minutes. And it's just
And I heard that the
wasn't my
acting's
cup of tea.
horrendous. I heard that acting is horrendous.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the characters are very bland because you don't really get to know who they are. It's very one layered. The kills are cool, but again, it's very surface to me. I feel like they just set out to, okay, well, let's just make a horror movie from the killer's point of view. It's a great idea. I really liked it. I just wish that there was more. I feel like they should have thought out the lore a little bit more with so there's like this locket thing that keeps the bad guy underground, and apparently this locket has just been on a stick on this guy's grave for like a decade. That's it. Like, that's the only thing that's keeping him underground. But there's no like, they didn't even like glue the locket onto the stick to keep it there through like weather, other people being nosy and picking it up. Like, I would, if I knew that there was some killer like underneath the ground and the only thing keeping him there was this locket, I would like build a moat and put an iron fence around it, and maybe like cement. I would just do a little bit more than just leave the locket there. So that's a big gripe that I have about the movie. But for those who like it, I'm happy for you.
So I hear from indie filmmakers, they say it's the greatest thing ever.
Okay.
But the casual horror fans hate it. So I don't know which side to believe on that side. So I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to have to watch it and see. But I was trying to catch it in the theaters. I think it's out of the theaters now, so I'm going to have to wait. I think it's on Shudder or something like that. So
okay. Yeah.
On Shudder.
Yeah.
All right.
It's worth watching on streaming, but I wouldn't recommend anyone paying to go see it.
Yes. All right. I'm going to watch it on free and streaming.
Okay.
Michelle, where can everyone find you?
I am on TikTok under Horror Zennial, and I am on Instagram for Season 666 Movie, and there's also a Facebook page for Season 666.
Sweet. Listen, everybody, follow Michelle and 666, Season 666 on social media, and get your ass over to Tubi and watch it. It's free. It's 50 minutes, guys. You're going to enjoy all 50 minutes of it. Michelle, it's been a blast having you on. You're more welcome to come on anytime.
I really want to. I want to hear your reaction to In a Violent Night, or whatever it's called.
Okay, yes. Listen, yes. That's what it's called, Violent Night. But listen, I'm pretty sure I'm
Violent Nature? Something?
See, I hate Terrifier, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hate this movie because I hear that, like you said, there's no story, there's no character development. It's just brutal, bloody kills, right? And like, now that I'm 41, that's not my cup of tea. Like, you know what I mean? I need
Right.
something. I need something
Right.
to play with. You know what I mean? Give me something.
Yeah.
Give me some kind of lore or some, like your movie, it no spoilers, but 5 whole minutes is pretty much telling this fucking killer's backstory. You know what I mean? Like, so that you at least know what you're getting into.
Getting in.
You know? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I need a backstory. I need at least a backstory for my killer. At least something. I can't just have somebody just run around killing people. That's not fun to me anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
there is
good
a
job
little
on
bit
that
of a
stuff.
backstory in that. So thank you.
Yes, it's a locket. You said that's on a grave.
Yeah. It's a locket on a grave.
Well, everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that is Michelle Hanson. We'll see you next time. Get over to Tubi, season 666. See you next time.